It wasn't Kyle Rittenhouse on trial in Wisconsin. It was the right to self-defense on trial. Right. And if I was convicted, no one would ever be privileged to defend their life against attackers.
Kyle Rittenhouse has been nominated to receive the highest honor bestowed by Congress. In this video, we're going to take a look at the legislation that's been filed to award Kyle the Congressional Gold Medal. We're going to look at the hysterical meltdown going on in the mainstream media. And stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll show you precisely why the media is trying so desperately to villainize Kyle and why it's so pathetically failing. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving celebration. We're going to start off the countdown to Christmas right with our super awesome Cyber Monday specials. Here at Turley Talks, we're a small business and we rely heavily on support from people like you who buy our books, our t-shirts, our event tickets, and more. It's because of these purchases that I'm able to be full-time devoting to this movement. Today on Cyber Monday, I invite you to support our movement. Please click on the link in the description below to purchase incredible bundles with discounted books, event tickets, incredible merch, including our awesome and witty t-shirts, which are all now buy two, get one free, and much, much more. This not only supports me, but it's the perfect Christmas present for all the patriots in your life. As always, thank you guys so much for your support. It's because of purchases like this I can do what I do. So click on that link in the description below to take part in Turley Talks Cyber Monday sale with incredible deals. But do not wait. It all ends tonight at midnight. Click on that link below and let's make this the most patriotic Christmas ever. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Legislation has just been submitted that may indeed award Kyle Rittenhouse with a prestigious Congressional Gold Medal. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has just introduced a bill calling for Kyle to receive the Congressional Gold Medal, which is the highest honor bestowed by Congress. For example, if you don't know, law enforcement officers who responded to the Capitol building riot, they were recently recipients of the medal. So there is definitely precedent for awarding the medal to those who stand up to mobs, as it were. And for Representative Greene, this is precisely why Kyle should be honored. The bill states that Kyle should be formally commended for, quote, protecting the community of Kenosha, Wisconsin during a Black Lives Matter BLM riot, which is exactly what he did. You have to give it up for Representative Greene. She tells it like it is. Now, obviously, as long as the Democrats hold power in the House, this bill is largely symbolic. But once the Republicans take over in 2022, which all polls project that they will do so and do so handily, this bill may indeed become law, especially with President Trump's endorsement of Kyle. Trump, of course, has defended Kyle from the very beginning, especially when so many, like Black Rifle Coffee, were abandoning him. Mike Lindell, who'll be with us tonight, he, of course, helped to pay for Kyle's completely unjustified $2 million bail. And so once the Republicans come to power, Kyle is most likely going to be awarded this Congressional Gold Medal. And this award isn't just important. I would argue that it is in many respects essential if we want a flourishing society that has any semblance of a future. You see, Representative Greene's bill symbolizes a course correction to our current inversion of values, right? There was once a time when what Kyle Rittenhouse did would have been considered an act of uncommon courage and valor. It may be hard to believe given our present circumstances, but protecting life and property from the ravages of vandals and looters was at one time rightly seen as heroic and exemplative of the virtues that any healthy and flourishing society recommends and encourages. Any society that wanted to have a future, that is. But not anymore. At least not when it comes to our permanent political class led and amplified by the mainstream media. Take a look.
There's no legal explanation for it. There's a cultural and political one. Again, it's the white supremacy that the Trump administration has enabled and endorsed.
The statements that he was responding to protect small business owners. That could be read very much as encouraging a sort of vigilante justice.
Rittenhouse drove in from Illinois armed for battle.
We know now is that the jury bought the narrative of Kyle Rittenhouse being a victim.
The fact that white supremacists roam the halls of Congress freely and celebrate this little murderous white supremacist, and the fact that he gets to walk the streets freely, it lets you know these people have access to instituting laws.
Welcome to the modern Republican Party. This is what these people want, and this is what a majority of white people vote for.
Now, as you can see, the mainstream media has made a villain out of Kyle Rittenhouse. And you really need to let that sink in. Our mainstream media, right, the very media that you just heard, is actually accusing Kyle of perpetuating racially inspired vigilante justice. You know, the very same media who told us about the fiery but mostly peaceful protests at Kenosha. That media, the very same media that bent over backwards, telling us that the billions upon billions of dollars of damage inflicted on our nation, that we pay for in the end, by the way, that we, the taxpayers of the nation, have to pay for, those billions upon billions of dollars of damages due to riots and looting were perfectly justified in the name of racially inspired social justice. And the reason they seem to be able to do this with a straight face is because, as far as our permanent political class is concerned, as long as politically correct norms are violated, as long as they can paint you as a racist, then violence against you is justified. As long as politically correct norms are violated, violence is a justifiable response. Violence in the name of social justice. Social justice, of course, defined in distinctively Marxist terms, in terms of an oppressed people rising up against their supposed oppressors, is perfectly justifiable and ought to be championed and celebrated with stupid and pathetically empty slogans and symbols of clenched fists and the like. But if anyone were to dare stand up to this, especially a young white man like Kyle Rittenhouse, well, that's the epitome of evil. That is a symbol of the very oppressive structures that are being righteously rebelled against, trying to reassert their racist oppression. And this, in the end, is why the mainstream media is so utterly repulsed by the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict and the Republican Party's embracing of him as a hero. They're repulsed because the left's vision of justified violence is not allowed to be resisted. According to our permanent political class, you and I are not allowed to stand up to these mobs who are burning and looting, all in the name of a Marxist vision of social justice. This is what made the jury's acquittal so horrifying to the modern left. That jury not only justified resistance against the ruinous and vile destruction of the social justice left, the jury actually encouraged it. That Kenosha jury didn't just acquit Kyle Rittenhouse, they inspired and invigorated the patriot revolt and resistance against this social justice savagery and barbarity. And no wonder that the media has been melting down over Kyle's verdict. Look at this from the ultra-leftists over at The Guardian. Why Republicans are embracing Kyle Rittenhouse as their mascot. Now, can you imagine the same leftists writing a headline like, why the Democrats are embracing BLM as their mascot? Of course not. And that's because these are not journalists or reporters. These are left-wing activists. They are Marxists. They are revolutionaries who embrace and champion the overturning of Western civilization. But it's all for naught. The media is losing, and they know it. But first, we got a special guest tonight. I mentioned that we're so excited to announce that Mike Lindell is going to be joining us live at our Insiders Club tonight, Monday night, the 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you're all invited to ask Mike your questions as he'll be with us live. And now, if you've never joined our Insiders Club and been a part of our live virtual studio audience, this is the time to do it. You got to click on that link below right now. You are not going to want to miss this. This is exclusive for our Insiders Club. This is your opportunity to ask Mike your questions and discuss all the things we can't get into here. And to make it even sweeter, we've added an additional week free for members who sign up today. So click on that link in the description below, sign up and get 14 days free with our extended Black Friday promotion. I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern at our Insiders Club with Mike Lindell. All right, so the media's lost this battle, and there are voices within the media that are admitting it. Ben Weingarten over at Newsweek is recognizing this. When all is said and done, it's now being openly admitted, even by members of the media, that all Kyle ultimately did was stand up to a woke mob. That was his real crime. As the left tirelessly tries to disarm the American populace, only to abandon them during these riots, leaving them undefended by the police, Kyle and many others stood up and said, no, we are not going to submit to your liberal totalitarian rule. We're going to stand up for law and order in the midst of the left's assault against such. That is what is so inspiring about Kyle and this jury's decision. It is emboldening the masses to stand up against the woke mob, and that is what the leftist activists disguised as journalists are so upset about. And so this is what makes Representative Green's bill so important, and I would argue indeed so exciting. Not only does it acknowledge the very values of courageous self-sacrificial valor that are indispensable to any flourishing society, but it upsets the very people who want to see our society erode to the ash heap of history. I do hope that Kyle gets the Congressional Gold Medal shortly after the midterms, and I can't wait to see the hysterical meltdowns in the mainstream media that such an award will inevitably provoke. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video. It's actually a documentary on why patriot militias are surging throughout the nation. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.